Hey fellow gamers, it's me, Mario. Today we're going to start a mini series into my big series, which is more about theory. I told you this was coming, so today we're going to start. And this is about what makes you good at games, Euro games in particular, of course, but just what makes you good at games. I tried to keep it in one single video and it was way too long. So I was able to divide it into three different parts, and talent is the first part. I will basically talk about a feature that makes you good at games, starting with talent because it's one that people discuss the most, I think. So everybody has got a different definition of talent. I think it's a word that it's pretty hard to define in a single sentence. I'm just going to go with talent is everything that comes easy to you for one reason or another. But let's jump into it, shall we? So, the first thing that I would like to stress is that I don't think that talent is only innate. I don't really think so. I think that talent is both natural aptitude and skill. So natural aptitude, of course, is very important. Like sometimes you're just born with a knack for something. Like maybe you're good at strategy, at long-term planning. Maybe you're good at hiding your true intentions to your opponents and then be able to, prey on them. Sometimes you're just good at trash talking. It's not something that I think it's a really important skill, but it's something that can work in a lot of games. Maybe you're just good at doing some fast math. So even if you're playing at a reasonable pace, your choices are more informed than the ones from your opponents. Um, there are a lot of things that can help you in games that are like natural gifts, of course. And they are really important. Like you were born that way, it's good to recognize that you have that strength and you can keep using the strength. But it's also important to know that talent, in my definition at least, which is everything that comes easy to you, it's also about skill. It's about something that you've acquired in your life thanks to the environment you grew into, your education, and the life lessons that you were taught. I think these are all very important factors in how you're good at games and they shape up your talent. Um, like I have a classical studies education, so I'm better at envisioning some kind of stuff, while other friends that I have that went for a more scientific oriented education have different necks. It's very different from person to person, but I think it's really important. Sometimes the education that you got makes you good at long-term planning. Sometimes it makes you very good at micromanagement instead. It's very important to recognize what you've learned in your life, what you were born with, and use them as your strengths. The more you know yourself, the better you will be at playing, basically. Also, something pretty important about talent is that it should be nurtured. I heard a lot of people talking about like big stars in sport, like I don't know, Michael Jordan, just to name one that was pretty famous when I was younger, and it's still famous, I bet, in the US. Um, but he had an incredible talent, but he also played a hell of a lot and he drilled a lot. So if something comes easy to you, it might come easier to you if you make yourself better. Like you should do a lot of exercises. You should play a lot and try to understand what your strengths are and improve on them. It's not easy. It's not always easy because sometimes you feel already strong in something or at something, and you don't really know how to improve. But I think it's always possible to improve. Sometimes you know you're good at long-term planning, but you are lost in some games. That happened to me a bit. I think I'm good at long-term planning, but like in Barrage at the beginning, I wasn't really able to envision the whole game just because there are so many moving parts in it. But I actually mapped it out on a paper. I know that it sounds crazy, and I was able to see all the different branching paths and I was able to envision them better, and that informed my choices in later games. So yeah, it's something I'm strong in, but I also try to become better. That's it. So recognizing a strength should lead to becoming stronger. That's of course what we've just said. And talent can wane if not, I don't know if exercised is the right word in English, but if it not used, if you don't use your talent a lot, that might wane, or if not wane, it might become worse with time. Sometimes you think you're already strong at something and you forget to do the drills, to do the homeworks, and you become worse. So basically, the whole chapter just say that if you have a talent, don't sit on it. Nurture it. Try to make it grow. Become better still. I don't want to stress it too much because I mean we're still talking about games after all. But if you want to become better, it's something you should definitely keep in mind. And the last point, today's video is going to be short, but again, uh, putting all three videos together into a what makes you good at games was too long, so I chose to divide them into three different parts. Perseverance, which I had to Google to know how to pronounce. Practicing isn't the opposite of being talented. It's a talent by itself. This is a big discussion that I had with many of my friends. Like, I'm not that good at doing something a lot because I get bored a bit. But I actually tried to become better a lot. I did some exercises. I tried to focus more, and that helped a lot. Like, I had some friends that are like machines. They set a goal for themselves and they just go for it. I'm not like that. I tend to be distracted a bit because I'm really curious about many moving parts of things, etc. But I think that perseverance is a talent by itself. It's not like many people think it's the opposite of talent. Like, you can either be talented or you have to do something a lot, because practice makes perfect, etc., etc. But I think that actually being able to practice a lot is a talent by itself. Some people are led to it more than others. Again, I'm not that good at that, but I'm trying to become good at that because if improving on your strengths is very important, also like patching up your weaknesses is pretty important when you're approaching um, competitive games. Again, I'm saying competitive. I know that board gamers aren't uh, that competitive in general, and I feel blessed for that because honestly, I was in the Magic scene for some time and I hated the big competition that you can find there. I think that board games is a way more healthy community overall. But still, I think it's possible to be competitive and be nice players, you know? There's going to be a video about that, I think, in the future. And the last thing is it should also be nurtured. Again, perseverance is part of your talent, is something that you have to become better. So if you find yourself always bored by things, try to rekindle your interest into them by reading articles, by trying to find new lanes when you play a game so that you can analyze them later on. Basically, perseverance is something that should be nurtured all the time, as well as talent to become a better player overall. Alright, shorter video for today. I think nobody will be disappointed by that because the feedback I got is that it's better to be faster and on point than to lose too much time talking about stuff. So, that's it. Mario's out. See you next time.